And welcome back. Before we get into today's video, got a new channel member once again, and testing my ability to read here is Kazatronrism Cultist. I hope I said that one right. That is a tough one to say and spell. Tier 1 membership from Kazatronrism. So if that's you, thank you for your channel member, and let us know in the comment section what the hell that means. Now, let's move on to the actual part of this video that you are all watching for, and that is talking about the NARC King of the West Championship, which has come down to the final race this weekend at the Stockton Dirt Track in Stockton, California. It is between Justin Sanders in the Demo Mitri Racing 2X and Cole Macedo in the Tarleton Racing number 21. Coming into this weekend, the race is on Saturday. I believe it's going to be November 2nd is the actual date. Things are very, very close, and these guys have been going back and forth all year long in this series. They are 22 races of 23 into the season, and Justin Sanders, after the weekend at Hanford and at Kern County, he has a 3-point lead over Cole Macedo to be the King of California, as they call it when you are the NARC champion. Both of these drivers looking for their first ever NARC championship. For Cole Macedo, he has never ran the entire season for NARC championship before, but for Justin Sanders, he's been doing it for a while. He got very close last year, ended up second in points to Corey Day, and so now Sanders is in the driver's seat here to maybe get that first ever NARC championship out of the way, which is surprising because he's been one of the dominant drivers with, on the West Coast for the last, 5-8 years. Has never been able to get the championship done, though, with the 410 under the hood, and maybe this is the time for him to do it. So we got a couple of things to talk about down the middle here. You got the stats on either side, and so going into the weekend, Sanders, 2,865 points is his advantage, or is how many points he has, excuse me. His advantage is 3 points. Macedo with 2,862. Going into last weekend, Cole Macedo had, I believe it was an 11-point lead or maybe a little bit less than that, and then he got knocked out of the race at Kern County, and then he ended up coming back to win at Hanford and make it very, very close going into this final race at Stockton. Now, over here in the green writing, this is very important because this could easily, and I'm thinking very, very easily, come down to a tie at the final race at the Stockton Dirt Track. When it comes to the point standings, I just looked this up in the NARC rulebook. The first place finisher in the feature event gets 42 points. The second place finisher gets 39 points. So if Cole Macedo were to win at Stockton on Saturday and Justin Sanders would finish in second, it would be a dead tie in the point standings. The first tiebreaker is victories, which would mean that Macedo, if he did win, he would have 6 compared to Sanders' 6. They would have to go to the second tiebreaker, which is actually quick times, and then the championship would go to Cole Macedo. Because Sanders only has 2, Macedo has 4. There is no way that Sanders can get to that that number 4 in one race, obviously. And so that would award Macedo the championship. So there is a lot to watch for here in this one. Let's talk about some of the other numbers that have happened so far this year, because these guys have been the dominant force in this series. Dominic Scelzi did not run full-time this year. Shane Golobic did not run full-time this year. There's 2 guys right there that would certainly be in the mix for this championship. So it kind of left it wide open for these 2 to kind of go at it amongst themselves. Sanders, as we mentioned a moment ago, has 6 wins on the year. Macedo with 5 as of right now. Top 5s, they are equal in that department with 17 top 5s for both of them in 22 races. 19 top 10s for Justin Sanders, for 18 for Cole Macedo. So that's kind of the first place, besides the wins, where Sanders has edged out Cole Macedo just a little bit over this season. But he really gets him here in the average finish department. 4.0 for Sanders and a 5.5 average finish for Cole Macedo. Now, I want to look at the numbers for Stockton Dirt Track because, as we know, if you pay attention at all to NARC After Dark, which we have dubbed it here on this channel, and what people talk about it on Twitter and things like that as well, Stockton is a very, very weird place. It is going to be tough to predict. The first race they had earlier this year, where Cole Macedo won on April 6th, the track looked like I took my lawnmower out and carved a circle out of some grass and put up a couple of walls, and that was the track. I mean, it was absolutely horrendous. A few weeks later, they go back, race there again. I guess it looks a little bit better, and Justin Sanders wins there on May 19th. And then, so when you look at those the 2 races, so Macedo and Sanders, they split the two races when it comes to the win department. The other one, Sanders went second and Macedo went in fourth. So you would have to give the edge to Justin Sanders when it comes to races at Stockton this year, especially when you look at when the Outlaws came to town. Sanders would end up on the podium position. Meanwhile, Cole Macedo was in 11th. So I guess you would say right there that Sanders does have the edge when it comes to this racetrack, albeit Macedo still has went to victory lane. But overall, Sanders has the better average finish at Stockton. But the problem with this track is, I mean, you literally don't know what you are going to get until you show up to the racetrack. It is one of those very rare places where, and because it's all brand new, right? I mean, this is the first year they've ran this configuration. They've ran 3 races on it in its entire history. Each and every time, it has been completely different. There's barely any banking. Most of the time when you're there, I mean, it's you're rolling around the bottom. It's a huggy pull session, bumper cars around the inside of the racetrack. And so you literally don't know what's going to happen, which makes it kind of exciting for the fans and for people watching at home like me. I forgot to mention this. We'll be live on Flow Racing on Saturday. But this, I don't know. I feel like it just makes it even more crazy because it's a wild card. You literally do not know what the track is going to look like when you get there. It could be good. It could be bad. More than likely going to be bad because when you look at the 3 races they've had already this year, it has not been very good as far as a racy track, 2 lanes. I really don't know what else to say other than that. It's been a wreck fest, a lot of them. So I don't know. It could come down to a race of attrition. If both these guys get off to a tough start on the night and have to come through the field, they could get themselves involved in wrecks because there's just not a whole lot of room out there. The track is narrow. It's small. So Stockton as the finale was certainly a choice by the guys at NARC, but I guess they didn't know going into the year how the configuration would look. Looking at sprintcarratings.com for 2024, as we mentioned, these guys have already been level pegging all the way down this board. I mean, relatively close in each stat department, and that continues on when it goes to sprintcarratings.com. Justin Sanders, 24th overall in the country this year, and Cole Macedo is 23rd. But I will say that Cole Macedo has 72 starts on the year. Meanwhile, Justin Sanders only has 40 starts on the year. And so that, I mean, if Sanders had 72 starts, more than likely he would probably be ahead of Cole Macedo just by looking at some of these numbers on here. We've seen Sanders do great things out in the Midwest. But for the sake of this video, they are very, very close in that department as well. Their average start in the features, and this is where Sanders also has an advantage. He seems to get through the heat races and qualify a little bit better on a more consistent basis. A 5.2 average start in the main events. Meanwhile, Cole Macedo, a 7.6 average start in the main events. So he's having to come from behind more often than not. And then as we mentioned at the top of the video, the past results in the championship for NARC. Sanders last year was the bridesmaid. He was second in points to Corey Day. And then Cole Macedo, he has never ran full-time for a NARC championship. So, and then at the bottom, I have who is my pick? Who do I think is going to get the victory? I'm going to grab a random pen over here. Who do I think is going to be the NARC champion this year? It's tough because if you look at all these numbers, right? I mean, they're very, very close. They both went to victory lane at Stockton. They both, have pretty equal top 5s and top 10s. The average finish and the average start goes to Sanders a little bit. But the one thing that I think swings in the favor of the driver that I am picking is he's been way more consistent, I feel like. The guy who I am picking has 8 second place finishes this year. So I am going to pick Justin Sanders for this championship. Little check mark there for him. I just feel like he's got the edge just a little bit in most of the numbers on the board. He's been better at Stockton overall this year. He has finished second literally 8 times this year to go along with his 6 victories. So we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, and here's another thing though. You got to think about this as well. Cole Macedo, if he loses this championship on Saturday, I don't think he's going to be too upset. He's got a lot to look forward to next year. He's going to be a full-time World of Outlaws driver with the 2C car. He's got a lot to look forward to. Justin Sanders, on the other hand, he's a guy that could easily be out there on a tour like that, but he doesn't really want to, right? But this is his livelihood, man. He's a West Coast guy. He's got his name in all the record books. If he cannot win this championship, then I think that will really affect him quite a bit. And I think he's going to be pretty upset if he does not win it. So maybe a little bit more pressure on Sanders compared to Cole Macedo. So I don't know, but I'm going to put the check mark next to Sanders. He's got the better overall numbers. He's been way better at Stockton. 8 second-place finishes cannot be overlooked, and so that is who I am picking to win the NARC Championship here in 2024. So it's going to be exciting, though, because if Macedo does win, that tiebreaker is going to go to him. So I would say, like, overall, I mean, Sanders basically just have to finish ahead of Cole Macedo. But if Cole does win, then obviously he's going to win the championship due to the tiebreaker. So I don't know, guys. Make sure to watch on Flow Racing this weekend. It is definitely going to be one you do not want to miss. NARC all year has been just crazy. That's all you could really say. A lot of wrecks, a lot of wacky stuff going on in the main events. And so I think it's going to be can't miss television. So without further ado, I'm going to finish this video off by just thanking all of my channel members. Every time we get a new channel member, I want to make sure to say thank you to all the guys that have been supporting me throughout this journey so far. So Blake Dow, Racing Vagabond, Skyke, Easy Does It, Bill Gillis, Ryan Showalter, Nate Trellin. We've got Bill Cinnamon, Kurt Brooks, Jay Hot Laps, and then over here we've got Caleb Johnson, Matt Parsons, DeReal Snipey 47A, John O'Neill, Ryan Farnsley, Ed Minus, Jay Strasser, Christopher Thacker, Brent Bear, and Ski Loner. Thank you guys so very much. If you are interested in becoming a member, it should be down below this video on the screen. So like join maybe. If not, if you type in youtube.com/@the-rodman-rundown/join, it'll take you right to the membership page. Appreciate everybody's memberships. That allows me to get new magnets, get new whiteboards and new pins. And I broke a tripod, so getting new tripods, things like that, it does help the channel out a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We'll talk to you again here tomorrow on the Rodman Rundown. We'll have another season in review from the 2024 year with High Limit Racing. Thank you all so much. Make sure to comment down below your picks for this championship. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll talk to you again soon.